QEP Command Your Career. And if you recognize Olivia's voice, you were a mentee of one Sandra McQueen.
That's right.
And we interviewed you when you were spending some time in France with us last year.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Last summer, I was at the Olympics, and I called in from Lyon, France.
I remember that.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, if she's learned anything from Sandra, she's going to be an amazing employee for you.
All right.
Because Sandra's a wealth of knowledge for sure.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you both for being here today. So we appreciate having you here. Okay. More coming up on Talkback.
KSYL. It's the ultimate bourbon tasting competition. Battle of the Bourbon. And your chance to drink, vote, and win. Woo-hoo! Here's how. Local restaurants have crafted unique bourbon experiences for you to savor. See the restaurant list at battleofthebourbon.com. Visit each restaurant, enjoy their carefully crafted bourbon cocktails. Pay attention to the taste, the savor, and the overall experience. Then cast your vote for the restaurant that impressed you most. Online at battleofthebourbon.com. Participants who have visited a restaurant and voted will periodically win prizes, including gift cards, prize packs, experiences, and more. The Battle of the Bourbon competition ends September 30th, and the winner will be announced on October 1st. Plus, there are other ways to win. Tag the restaurants you visit and share your experience at #BourbonBattleSenLaw to win for best photos. May the best bourbon experience win. Visit ExploreLouisiana.com to plan your trip today.
Think your antivirus is enough? Think again. Your business firewall is the first and often only line of defense against cyber attacks. At Kinetics, we manage, monitor, and update your firewall 24/7, keeping threats out and your data protected. Don't leave your network exposed for your team scrambling. Let the experts handle it. Get your free assessment today at kinetics.solutions. That's kinetics.solutions. Kinetics, IT that works.
It's game day, and this could be the biggest game of the year. Let's listen into the locker room as Coach preps his team.
Listen up. This ain't just any game, so you've got to be game ready. Yeah. You know what that means. Lock in, gear up, and get your hands on the one ticket that has more action than a fourth quarter comeback. Game Ready, the new Saints scratch-off from the lottery.
Yeah. Play Game Ready from the lottery. Win up to $100,000. Also, it's game time when you play Saints Game On, the new $5 fast play game from the lottery. Enter the second chance drawings to win Saints prize packages and up to $1 million.
Put your game face on. Remember, you're not just ready, you're game ready.
It's game time with Game Ready and Saints Game On. Win up to $100,000. Enter second chance drawings for Saints prize packages with a chance to win up to $1 million. Visit LouisianaLottery.com for more details. Must be at least 21 to purchase.
Talkback. To take part of the show, call 442-8255. That's 442-TALK.
All right, welcome back, everyone. It is Al and Steven joining us now here on Talkback on this Thursday morning. Got her dropped off, huh?
We're good to go.
Daddy duties.
I'm glad you got a little interview there, too, to
Yeah.
some time.
Yeah.
You do a good job, though, without me. Probably better than with me.
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all. Gotta have somebody to talk to.
That's right.
Speaking of which, you can talk with us at 442-8255 on the BOM Bank talk line. And let's go to the phones. Good morning, you're on Talkback.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for taking my call. As the fallout from Charlie Kirk's assassination, continues, and I'm sure it'll be for a long time, follow the trial and everything. It dawned on me, they're canceling people, and I think that's all fitting. But to correct Nick Fuentes, you know who he is?
Yeah.
The representative. Yeah. He's had some poignant things online lately, and he talked about how you can't reconcile with people who refuse to be reconciled with, and to correct the emotional situation in the country, the Democrats are going to have to silence the Democrats, and the conservatives are going to have to silence the conservatives. And they're never, people like, what's the guy you were just talking about him?
Jimmy Kimmel?
Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel is never going to listen to Ted Cruz.
Right.
He's never going to take anything he says. Now, Ted Cruz puts out some awesome stuff. He's never going to listen to Nick Fuentes. You know, he just won't.
Dave,
And,
have you ever listened to Nick Fuentes besides that one point? He is an awful human being. An awful human being. And I say that with...
How do you mean? Explain that, please.
He's a outspoken racist. Just look it up. He says, I am racist.
Okay, wait. I may be talking about the wrong guy. You talking about a representative in Congress, the guy that was in the military?
No, Nick Fuentes, the guy who's the America First podcast.
Oh, I thank you for correcting me.
Before you say that, just watch his stuff.
Yeah,
no. I that's the wrong name. Al, what's the... It's Nick Freitas.
Oh, Freitas, yeah, Freitas.
Okay.
Yes.
I was like, not Nick Fuentes.
Yeah, thank you for calling me out on that. Look, I'm slipping, but Nick Freitas, y'all know who that is?
Yes, he's a. I don't think he's a congressman though.
He's a Twitter guy, huh?
Yeah, he's a Virginia state delegate.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, state representative. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like Chuck Owen.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But he does a lot on social media. He's a pretty strong conservative voice.
Yes. Yeah, he is. Well, he has an all-American biography. I mean, he was in the military. Now he's serving as a family. They showed videos of him when he gave his daughter away when she got married, and he gives dad advice, and that's what I'm talking about. Thank you so much for correcting me on that.
Well, he's the one kind of legitimately calling for some sort of breakup of the country or civil war.
Fuentes or Freitas?
No.
No. He was one of the first ones online.
No,
I'll pull it
wrong.
up. Just give me a second.
Yeah, and you need to correct yourself. He never called for a civil war. He said there's no reconciling with people who refuse to be reconciled with. And I think he's right. I don't see anyone on the left who wants to say, Charlie was a good guy at heart. They'll never say anything that Trump has done that's good. They won't admit that the closing of the border is good, that there are less Americans being murdered or killed in car accidents by illegal aliens. That they won't admit anything. They've decided that pushing their agenda is more important than being truthful or even the good of the country. Who was that? Was it Bill Maher that said if it takes a recession to get rid of Trump, then let's have the recession. That kind of vitriol, you can't make up with somebody like that. And so I think it's going to take people on the left, and I don't know, that ideology does not normally spurn this, but Al, you shared something of that young woman who was on the left, and she saw the hatred on her side, and it repulsed her. It reviled. It caused her to go to church. Now, that can do good. That can bring us back together as a country, and I don't think it'll bring a lot of the lefties with it. I think what will happen is they'll become so small and insignificant, they'll go elsewhere, or they'll just peter into history as a bad time in our past. Because they're so full of hate.
Okay, he didn't say specifically Civil War. He goes, the day that Charlie Kirk was shot, he goes, it's not a civil dispute among fellow countrymen. It's a war between diametrically opposed worldviews which cannot peacefully coexist with one another. One side will win and one side will lose.
Yes.
So in a coded way of saying it.
No, it wasn't coded.
I think it is.
You seem to be tainting him. You just, on the top of your mind, his name was associated with Civil War, so you said Civil War.
No, it wasn't. I just read his stuff all the time.
Okay, well then...
I'm not a leftist, so you can't call me a leftist crazy. Sorry, I shouldn't say Civil War.
Yes, but look, in your position, that's a big faux pas.
Yeah, we're calling him Nick Fuentes.
Yes, that is a big faux pas. Yes, I appreciate you correcting me on that.
I think it was a coded way of saying we cannot peacefully live together and one side will win, one side will lose. I think that's very, very, very dangerous rhetoric. That is my opinion. You have yours. Yes, we can live together. The left and right can live together.
Okay. How many people like Charlie need to get shot? I mean, do you see any repentance on their side?
That's not even an argument. The majority of Americans aren't going around shooting each other.
No, but the ideology, the permission structure that their talk generates is irredeemable.
I can pull up Donald Trump's vitriolic statements and tweets too. We can do that as well.
Okay, how many people have shot left? Al, the measure you gave the other day, how many leftists that go to campuses are beaten and having to go into a room for 5 hours at Berkeley because a bunch of conservatives won't let them out, the police can't get them out? You know, that measure was perfect. I mean, that's what we all see. Now, people on the left say, oh, the right is just as bad. Well, you don't see it. If it was happening, it would be all over the news. We know anything they can put on the news, they'll from a person on the right, they'll put it on the news. I mean, we don't even know the facts of the case yet. I think we should just let it come out more. But we're learning a lot. I mean, he was part of a group called the Armed Queers of Utah. You know, the discussion groups that he was a member of, his family said he was going further and further to the left. Yeah, you're right. We don't know the exact minute by minute of what happened, but we have a pretty good idea.
No, we should let the facts come out. For sure.
Well, nobody's going to wait for the end of it, for the final judge to hit the gavel and say guilty before they start discussing.
So of all like the white supremacy, violence, and extremism we see across the country,
I hate white supremacy.
Okay, but I'm not gonna lump you in that category, Dave.
No, but do you know any? I don't know any. I live in the deep south.
Okay. All right.
I live in the deep. Now, if that Nick Fuentes guy just won, did great. Cancel him. I mean, what I'm saying is, there's a group that's trying to hold the principles that made America great, and there's another group that hates the history of America, and they look for any chance they can to denigrate America and Americans and traditional family and all the things, the values that allow a human to thrive in their short time on this earth. And what Nick Freitas was trying to get to see is that if those people hate our idea, it's a war of ideas. Every time I call, I'm trying to communicate that idea, that ideas have consequences, and it's a war of ideas. Marxism will not live peacefully with anyone. They just won't. It's not in their makeup. Anyway, I know I've taken too long. Thank y'all for letting me speak my piece.
You're good, man.
Yeah.
Hey, I do enjoy when he calls in, by the way.
Well, thank you for correcting me on that guy. If ever I'm saying something and I'm sounding wrong, please call me on it, because I don't want to. That was a horrible
even
mistake.
If you did say that, you know, you liked what he said, I just assumed you didn't read all of his stuff. But that's not who you're talking about.
What one good thing did he say? What one good thing did that guy say? Because normally ideas cluster together.
Nick Fuentes?
And a guy that, yeah, what did he say that was...
just please go watch it. It won't take you long. I promise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, thanks. Y'all have a great day.
Thanks. We'll be right back, and we're going to tell you about some pancakes right after.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. Here's the tale of the daily med bill. Same old pharmacy, same old bill, but those prices kept rising higher still.
Till the savings Wrangler rode in. Cool as can be. Have GoodRx. Savings massively.
No plan? Don't matter none. Up to 80% off. Deals are done.
Discounts hitting harder than Ma's chili. Dang. Like one little laugh does all the rest.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
Ooma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Great news, everybody. Karen is back at Wilmore's Mobile and Sub Express, located right there at the intersection of North MacArthur Drive and Bayou Rapide Road. Hungry for breakfast? Karen will hook you up with biscuits, croissants, subs, and all the hot coffee you can handle. Just stop by any weekday morning from 6 a.m. till 9 and get your day started right. It's breakfast just the way you like it. Fresh, hot, and satisfying. Now I'm hungry. That's Wilmore's Mobile and Sub Express on MacArthur Drive at Bayou Rapide Road.
Well, let's take a look at my husband Tom's favorite shirt. This is a ketchup stain. We got soy sauce over here, mustard here, Tabasco, chocolate syrup. I'm not worried. I'll just take it to Craig.
At Craig's Cleaners, tough stains are no problem. Finicky, hard, clean fabrics are no problem either.
Wow, honey, great job on my shirt. Now, what's for supper?
Just dependable, professional dry cleaning. Craig's Cleaners, 1746 Elliott Street, 1305 Metro Drive, or Highway 28 East at the Pineville Expressway.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. Auto repair bills are through the roof. $3,000 to replace the transmission. $4,000 for a blown engine. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all out of pocket. You need an Endurance Auto Protection Plan. No matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done at the certified mechanic of your choice, and they're paid directly with no middleman. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, lockout services, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Act now and get our elite benefits, including complete tire care and key fob replacement. A $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again, so call now for your free quote. Call 800-458-3124. 800-458-3124. 800-458-3124.
It's Talkback 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
All right, we'll get to the callers. We'll get back to the callers, I should say, in just a moment. But right now, we want to tell you about a great fundraising event that is happening today. Happening right now, as a matter of fact. It is the Perfect Fit Foundation Breakfast, and we want to talk more about it. Matt Harp joins us in the studio. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Morning. Doing great. How are you guys?
Good. Nice to have you with us here today. So things kicked off this morning. What time did you guys get underway?
We kicked it off at 6:30 this morning, bright and early.
Great. Now, people can get pancakes. Give us the details on that.
Yeah, we're doing fresh pancakes with butter, syrup, the works, sausage, a piece of fruit, and something to drink for a small $7 donation.
That's awesome.
So this raises money for the Perfect Fit Foundation. What's that all about?
Yeah, that's right. That's a foundation my father, Willie Harp, started back in 2006 in honor of his father, Jerry Harp, who sold shoes locally for a long time. And we raise money to buy shoes for kids who need them in the community. And we've been doing that for years now, and we'd love for you guys to come out and support us.
So this started under your grandfather?
Actually, it started under my father in honor
of your grandfather. And your grandfather used to give shoes away to kids, right?
That's right, yeah.
Okay.
Having fitted so many people with shoes over the years, a lot of people knew him for that reason. So,
yeah,
very fitting foundation.
That's awesome. Your dad was an amazing guy, too, and got this going, and it's awesome to see his sons carrying it on, including you, we were telling us you just recently moved back here.
Yeah, yep. Born and raised in Alexandria and moved to New Orleans about 20 years ago, and finally coming back.
Well, and so this is at St. James Episcopal, just off of a Bolton Avenue.
Yep, 1620 Murray Street, downtown Alexandria. We're going to be serving until about 11 o'clock, so you guys come out, say hi.
Any idea how many pancakes you typically serve on a day like this?
Thousands.
And talk about where the money then goes to that you raise.
Well, we partner with Academy Sports, and we're able to get a large amount of shoes at a good discount, and we're able to distribute those to the kids in the community who have a need.
How do you find out about what kids have a need, and how do you get those shoes to them? How do you connect?
Well, we're partnered with the St. James Episcopal Church and the Central Louisiana Community Foundation. So we have lines of communication open with already people who know, but if you have a need, please reach out to us.
And they also work with the school board, correct, too? So the teachers are able to identify kids that might need it, and that's how they find the shoes. Right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay,
that's right.
Absolutely.
All right, good stuff. Well, I know Stephen did a great story on this, which you can find on our Stephen Maxwell
Cenlar Broadcasting
TV
Facebook.
and Cenlar Broadcasting Facebook pages if people want to learn more. And again, this is going on until 11 o'clock, $7 donation. And what do they all get again?
It's a plate of pancakes, a piece of fruit, a drink, and a piece of sausage.
There you go. Gotta have a little bit of that protein with it, right, Stephen?
Yeah, you gotta get a little bit of sausage in there. That's good. So
definitely. So, all right. Well, Matt, it's great to have you in here with us here today. Thank you guys for what you're doing with this effort, and I hope it's very successful today.
Great. Thank you so much, guys.
Appreciate it, man.
All right, that's Matt Harp, and you can hear the music. That means we are done for this hour. We're gonna take more of your calls in hour number 2. Full hour of open line coming up. So stay with us.
You've been listening to Talkback. The opinions expressed were those of the hosts and callers, and not necessarily those of Cenlaw Broadcasting. AM 970, FM 104.9, KSYL, and KRRV 100.3, HD3, Alexandria.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. President Trump has just announced a new tech deal with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer at his side.
I want to thank the Prime Minister. He worked very hard on this and getting this deal done. This is long in the making. They've been talking about it for a long time, and we got it done.
The two men are expected to hold a news conference at Starmer's country house this hour before Mr. Trump wraps up his state visit to the UK. Correspondent Ed O'Keefe is standing by.
Tariffs and trade are expected to top the agenda here at Checkers today, but we're also likely going to hear conversation about issues like the wars in Gaza and Ukraine, as both leaders have struggled to figure out a path to peace.
The president's handpicked FCC chairman is hailing ABC for suspending Jimmy Kimmel Live indefinitely after the talk show host accused the administration of politicizing Charlie Kirk's assassination. Brendan Carr tells Fox.
Late night shows, something's gone seriously awry there. They went from going for applause, from laugh lines to applause lines. They went from being court jesters that would make fun of everybody in power to being court clerics and enforcing a very narrow political ideology.
U.S. Irvine Law School professor Susan Seeger sees grounds for a court case.
If there are threats by the government of punishment, of loss of government contracts or a government broadcast license, that is illegal. That does violate the First Amendment.
President Trump says he'll designate a new terror organization. CBS's Linda Kenyon with details from Washington.
On Truth Social, President Trump posted, quote, "I am designating Antifa, a sick, dangerous, radical left disaster, as a major terrorist organization," unquote. The president added he is recommending those funding Antifa be investigated. Antifa, which is short for anti-fascist, is a loose affiliation of mostly left-leaning groups. Trump made a similar announcement during his first term, but did not follow through on the designation.
Spotify has just announced a partnership with Sony Music that could benefit its artists like Bruce Springsteen.
Hey, little girl, is your daddy home?
The deal encompasses the recorded music and publishing side of Sony's business. Spotify says it'll result in higher royalties for songwriters, too. A country restaurant chain is bracing for more financial fallout from a failed logo rebrand. CBS's Jim Krasula.
The controversy over Cracker Barrel's logo redesign and the planned remodeling of its restaurants has taken a bite out of its business. The Tennessee-based chain says it expects lower sales and fewer customers in the coming year. Cracker Barrel says its business was down 8% as loyal patrons criticized the changes a month ago.
This is CBS News.
Progressive Insurance, with insurance for cars, home, boat, motorcycles, RVs, and commercial vehicles at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Louisiana Radio Network, I'm Colleen Crane. The Louisiana Department of Health is urging caution after a 5th person has died from Vibrio vulnificus infection. 26 Louisiana residents have been infected this year. State epidemiologist Teresa Sokol says it's a severe illness
every person who has had one of these Vibrio infections in Louisiana this year has required hospitalization.
Vibrio naturally live in coastal waters and are found in higher numbers in the warmer months of May through October. Sokol says avoid exposure by covering open wounds with waterproof bandages when in the water, and don't eat raw or undercooked seafood from the warm Gulf waters. LSU in Baton Rouge has their largest freshman class in history, and interim president Matt Lee says for the first time in history, LSU's research enterprise has crossed the 5 million mark.
We're working to grow that portfolio to 800 or 900 million and nearly double our doctoral student population, so LSU remains a hub for advanced scholarship and talent development.
LRN.
Louisiana forests once fueled our economy. Your granddad logged these woods. So did your dad. And now, Beaver Lake Renewable Energy is keeping that legacy alive, turning thinnings and wood byproducts into clean fuel right here in Pineville. It means more jobs, stronger forests, and a future that honors where Central Louisiana came from. Be part of Louisiana's next chapter. Visit BeaverLakeRenewable.com and find out how we're putting Central Louisiana back on the map.
Well, if you're looking for any measurable amounts of rain, you're probably going to be looking towards the middle of next week before you see it. Well, good morning. Our forecast is calling for sunny skies with a few afternoon clouds today. We'll put a 20% chance of some showers and thunderstorms, but that's going to be a hit-and-miss type of situation. 93 for the afternoon high. Sunny with afternoon highs near 93 again on Friday. From the Cenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Gratian.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 18 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
It's Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show. Whether it's the guests or the callers, Talkback is where Central Louisiana begins its conversation.
Oh, welcome back. The smell of pancakes was wafting through the air. Perfect Fit has their pancake breakfast fundraiser going on right now over at St. James Episcopal till 11 a.m. Pancakes, fruit, sausage, and a drink for $7.
There you go.
Can't
for a
beat
good
it.
cause.
For a good cause.
Local kids to get shoes.
All right, it's Alan Stephen with you here this morning. Lots to talk about. We know what we'll probably get into fairly soon, but we've got a call that's been waiting since last hour. I want to get to that. Good morning. You're on the Beyond Bank Talk Line.
Good morning, guys. This is Walter Beach, the EMS Reform. I just want to bring you on the updates that's going on. Of course, I'm on the spillway again, trying to get into New Orleans, go to work. I took the opportunity with the Baton Rouge City Fire Department in the merger of a parish entity, East Baton Rouge Parish EMS, ambulance service.
Okay.
And with that opportunity, I've been going to the council meetings. I actually spoke to the chief, Kimball, at the fire department. And basically, this whole thing is sort of like CO2. Nobody asked for it. Nobody wants it. And it's not going to solve a problem that doesn't exist. There is no problem with the ambulance service. They actually graduated, I think, 10 to 20 paramedics. That their forward thinking is great. They were able to get funding for these paramedics to go through school. That's up to $20,000 back in their pocket. You know, and that's a step forward that the whole state really needs to look at. It's free tuition. We're going to get through this EMS crisis. You know, my question was, why isn't anybody investing in the ambulance service? Private, public, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
If there's an issue there, why don't you invest in it? Why are fire departments trying to take over the ambulance service?
So this is happening in East Baton Rouge Parish, you said?
Yes, East Baton Rouge Parish. And the one major thing is the parish and the city is looking for money. The last mayor just destroyed it. So they're in the red big time. And even the fire department's in the red. The only one that's in the black is East Baton Rouge Parish EMS. So now you see why the low-hanging fruit wants to be picked. So this is a big, ridiculous thing, and it's going to add money to their budget. It's not going to cure anything because you're going to have all these people back, going to be under the fire department, all their EMS employees, and it's going to cost money. for the parish.
Yeah.
So, I spoke at a committee, rural health initiative, I believe it was, committee. And, I explained to them about the problems Louisiana has and the problems they created, like the monopoly for the ambulance service, for private ambulance service, and how we have certified ambulance operators, and we have EMRs, which are mostly firemen getting overtime, that don't ride in the back of an ambulance. Where is the investment in EMS?
Yeah.
It doesn't take much, and we save so much money by not having people go into the ERs. If they're admitted, they are discharged sooner. So we save, millions of dollars a year. But I do want to say that last caller, very passionate. I like listening to him.
Yeah, he definitely is. So, all right. Well, thanks for calling our attention to it. I was just kind of reading up on it while you were talking, and it looks like a judge had put this plan on hold. It was a plan from the mayor, Sid Edwards. So we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, it's on hold for 90 days, and there's nothing holding me back for 90 days.
Nothing's going to stop you.
No, I'll be at the council meeting. It's either, you're not going to postpone this any longer. It's, we're told it's a done deal.
Okay.
But
all right. Well,
that's where I come in. So
thanks for the call this morning. We appreciate you.
All right. Thank y'all.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye. 442-8255 is our phone number. Now, I did talk about it kind of off the top of the show to get things started, and you weren't here. So the big news in the morning is what happened last night when Disney ABC announced that they are pulling the Jimmy Kimmel Live show off the air indefinitely. It comes after comments that Kimmel made Monday about the shooting of Charlie Kirk. He said the MAGA gang is desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. Now, this kind of started to draw slowly a little bit of outrage on social media and that sort of thing, and came to the attention of the FCC chair, Brendan Carr, who was on the Benny Johnson show yesterday and said that the FCC might have to take some kind of action about it. But I think, Stephen, the big move came yesterday when Nexstar announced that they were going to temporarily pull Kimmel's show from their 200 affiliate stations across the country. And then Sinclair also said that they were going to do that. So those are two of the major players in local television.
I got a couple opinions or just thoughts on it. One, ABC has every right to fire who they want to fire. Free speech doesn't really apply.
And they haven't said they've fired him.
If they want to, or let go, or suspend.
Right.
They have the right to do that. We're forgetting one important piece of this puzzle. What is Nexstar in the process of doing?
Merging with Tegna.
And that requires
FCC
approval from the FCC.
Yeah.
So they're trying to get in good graces with the administration. Sure. And we've seen this. I mean, the left bullied everyone back in the day, years ago. And we saw the corporations fall in line, go with their movement. And we're seeing it swing to the other side completely now. So we need to stop taking all these corporations seriously, like they're some sort of warrior for your conservative movement or for the social justice movement. They just follow the money and the power. I know that's not a surprise to anybody, but that's what it's all about.
Yeah,
and you see the administration consistently just suing these different news organizations, whether you agree with it or not. You're not going to kill free speech. And I'm not saying that they're killing Jimmy Kimmel's free speech. Jimmy Kimmel's going to be just fine, and that company has a right to do it. But they're strong-arming all these different organizations into maybe maybe we probably shouldn't come after the president. Maybe we shouldn't post anything or write a story negatively about him. It's just these little things that keep it from happening. Maybe bring some alarm, to protecting our press and our news media, granted, whether you like them or not. Brian Kilmeade, I know you probably don't agree with some of the backlash to him, but he said something pretty reprehensible and had to apologize for it. So if Kimmel apologizes to get to go back on air, should Kilmeade also be let go for what he said? I mean, But Fox doesn't care. They're not worried about it. Like Nexstar is worried about getting approval for a large merger.
Well, it's interesting because President Trump right now, he's over in Great Britain, and they had, a state dinner for him yesterday, big to-do. And among the guests that were there, Rupert Murdoch.
Amazing.
Trump is suing Rupert Murdoch's Wall Street Journal
for what, $1 billion?
Yeah, like 1.5 billion, I think.
Yeah.
And then you had just a few weeks ago, the White House, they had a big dinner where you had Zuckerberg was there, Gates was there, all these tech pros, and no Elon Musk. I mean, politics, as they say, makes strange bedfellows, but you know what makes even stranger bedfellows? Money.
Yeah,
money, for sure.
Look, this is just me thinking and watching everything that's happening. And granted, the left was completely in power when it came to what was allowed to be said for the most part. Not really, but they kind of controlled the narrative.
In a lot of areas, especially like with COVID and the vaccines.
100%.
Remember, was it Gina Carrero? Is that her name? She was on. She was on one of the Star Wars.
Yeah, she.
Mandalorian.
What's her name? But she was the Cara Dune on Mandalorian. I know her fake name.
Gina Carano.
And she said something conservative on Twitter.
Yeah, and then Roseanne Barr. Remember?
Roseanne Barr. Yeah.
She was on the reboot of the show. What was the name of that show? I don't even know. But
Roseanne?
I guess. Thank you. But was that the name of the reboot?
I don't know. I think it's the Connors.
Okay, yeah. But she basically tweeted out that Valerie Jarrett, who is one of the top people in the Obama administration, and then she was a former White House advisor. She said she looked like the offspring of the Muslim Brotherhood and Planet of the Apes. So that got her fired off that show.
And so it's not like I'm not going after the administration in the sense that this wasn't done by previous Democratic administrations. It definitely was.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently, the ethics that conservatives used to preach all the time doesn't matter. They're just going to do the exact same thing, But that was ABC's decision. We don't know if it had anything to do with the merger. Right. It's just kind of interesting at that time.
Yeah.
Because, these big corporations were not conservative, strongholds, right? Except for Sinclair. Sinclair has always been known to be pretty conservative.
Yeah. Remember when Sinclair, was that about 10 years ago? They had all of their affiliates read a statement about, it was something political.
Yeah.
And people had a field day because they recorded all the different affiliate anchors reading it. And they're like, see, this just shows that the media are all working in collaboration.
No, we're just lazy and don't want to rewrite it.
Exactly.
That's exactly what it is.
No, you're right.
You see all these anchors saying the same thing.
Yeah.
They're so busy, and you have to have these filler stories for a show, which, granted, local news all across the nation having like 10 hours of news programming is insane.
Yeah.
Unnecessary.
Yeah,
because they don't want to pay for other products. But it's they're not all working together. It's not this big media cabal, I can promise you. It's just they don't want to rewrite the story.
Yeah. Now, there was a video, I'll see if I dig and find it, but it was the one they required all the anchors to read a script that was bashing fake news, basically.
Oh, yes.
Remember that one?
Yeah.
And it was like people pieced it together where you had all of the anchors saying the same thing at the same time. Now, Conan O'Brien used to do a similar thing where he would pick like I scream, you scream, the rest. Which is,
what about a social media network for dogs?
For dogs, exactly. But that was an example of what you're talking about, where these producers across the country, these local stations, are getting content that comes down from, a lot of times, the various networks that they're part of, or CNN has like a service, kind of like a wire service. All they do is copy and paste the stories into their shows for filler. They don't rewrite it because they don't have time.
Yeah, and exactly. And I was watching the Kimmel thing, and just stay with me here. When I first heard the news he was canceled over comments over Charlie Kirk, I'm like, oh man, it must have been something awful. And I watched it, and I'm like, okay, I definitely wouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
It was horrible timing.
Yeah.
Maybe have some sensitivity. Has it even been a week yet?
Right.
Like, give it some time.
Yeah.
And Scott Jennings was saying on CNN the other day, he goes like, let people grieve. It's been a week. People are mad.
Right.
I don't think we should endorse calling for some sort of civil, riots or the country splitting in part or even just saying peaceful divorce. I think it's ridiculous, but let people deal with their emotions as much as possible.
Yeah.
But the Kimmel thing, even though it was distasteful, it wasn't as shocking as I was expecting to be. Don't come after me.
No.
I wouldn't have said it.
I kind of agree with you. And what I kind of suspect is, it could be similar to Colbert, where that show's losing money and they were looking for an
Bingo.
excuse.
Who the
Yeah.
heck? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He might actually be better off because of this.
Yeah.
He's a hero now to
Right.
centrist and leftist, I'm sure, and they're going to think he's great. He's going to start his own media conglomerate.
Yeah.
Don Lemon, who got kicked off CNN, has a huge following on
Yeah.
YouTube now. Like, he's doing just fine.
As Tucker calls him, Don Lemon.
Tucker's doing so.
Oh, yeah. Look how many people celebrated when Tucker got fired from Fox, right?
I know.
And
they're set free. They have these contracts. They're obligated not to do anything.
Yes, absolutely. And, outlets like YouTube give them opportunity to do their own thing. So,
Yep. And I mean, I get it. Trump, even though he starts a lot of the problems, in my opinion, I mean, they did kick him off of Facebook for how long?
Yeah, and Twitter.
And Twitter for how long?
Yeah.
It's both sides.
Yeah.
And we need to stop taking these corporations seriously and realize the amount of power we give some of these private corporations and these CEOs. They're ruining our country. They are ruining it, and they're paying off your politicians and buying them.
Yep. It's corporate cronyism, and trust me, the Democrats are just as guilty of it as the Republicans are. Sometimes the Democrats call it out more, but they take the checks.
Well,
just
there
as
are
much.
some Democrats that you hate that do not take those checks. You hate them. You hate them. They're very few, but there are some. Republicans aren't saying anything, except maybe like a Marjorie Taylor Greene who disagrees with some things that MAGA does, who I'm not a big fan of.
Or Thomas Massey.
Or Thomas Massey.
Or sometimes Rand Paul, or I don't know. Money. It's all about money. All right.
Money out.
We need to take a break. We got a call. If you can hang on, we'll come out to you when we come back, I promise, right after this.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 18 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
More fiber and laxatives, eh? Who are you? I'm Future You. Future me? Constipation with belly pain still coming back? Our doctor figured it out. It's irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C. And Linzess could help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Attention all real estate agents, property owners, and lenders. When you or a client needs a real estate attorney, call the professionals at Thompson Law Firm. Whether the legal matter is basic or complex, the Thompson Law Firm can accurately guide you or your client to a successful outcome. That's why numerous industry professionals have trusted the Thompson Law Firm for years. They also handle estate planning, successions, and business law. Call them at 473-0052. I am a paid non-client attorney spokesperson.
Coverage varies by plan, view contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. Auto repair bills are through the roof. $3,000 to replace the transmission, $4,000 for a blown engine. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all out of pocket. You need an Endurance Auto Protection Plan. No matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done at the certified mechanic of your choice, and they're paid directly with no middleman. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, lockout services, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Act now and get our elite benefits, including complete tire care and key fob replacement. A $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again, so call now for your free quote. Call 800-458-3124. 800-458-3124. 800-458-3124. 458-3124.
If you'd like to take part in the show today, call the BOM Bank Talk line at 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. And remember, if you're looking to purchase or refinance your home, call Christina Bagwell at the BOM Bank Mortgage Department at 448-2430.
Talk back. To take part in the show, call 442-8255. That's 442-TALK.
All right, we're back, and let's go to the phones on the BOM Bank Talk line. Good morning, you're on Talkback.
Well, there's a couple of things I'd like to talk about. I'm on 49, just north of Natchitoches, and there's a big fire up here. It's so close to the road, you can smell the wood burning.
Wow. Huh. So it's
And another thing,
okay.
Right. Another thing, too, people can go and they can say the most horrible thing they want to about Charlie Kirk, and there's nothing that anyone can do about it because that's constitutionally guaranteed free speech.
Right.
Agreed.
Right.
We agree.
And another thing is that I don't think this has ever been adjudicated, if that's the right word. Someone who tries to take your job away from you because you said something they don't like, I don't see why you can't just throw them in the dirt.
Well, and that has happened. I believe Gina Carrero did sue ABC, and I think she's
getting her job back.
Yeah.
That's what I heard a while back.
So
yeah, I mean, that's the people. Anyway, as far as Jimmy Kimmel goes, I think it's a better place because he's not on the air.
I'm not a huge fan of his just because and honestly, if you go back 10, 15 years ago when he kind of first started, his show actually was fairly funny, and it was, typical late night variety comedy type show. But I just feel like it seemed to be whenever Trump rose to the presidency, that so many of these guys just went off the deep end with their hatred toward him that they lost their edge for smart comedy. They really did. I mean, even a guy like Fallon, he used to make fun of Trump all the time with his hair. Trump was on his show and he messed up his hair, and they did a thing where they were in the mirror together because Fallon did like a Trump impersonation. But now if you watch the jokes, they're not even funny, they're just mean.
But and that's true, but Trump is also very mean with his jokes. His name calling. So I mean, it's just it kind of incites that sometimes.
Can I check out something that maybe y'all don't know? Maybe people just don't know.
Sure.
You know that capitalism and artificial intelligence are not compatible with each other?
Intelligence and
artificial intelligence
are not because your brain stops having to think critically.
Our economy is going to fail. And I saw an example of that yesterday, and I was over at this fast food place at the drive-in, and I was and Chat GPT took my order.
Yep. The local Taco Bell here. That's what happens too.
Hey, it does a good job every time I go.
Right, does a good job, and that humans will never do that job again. The reason capitalism and AI are not compatible is because more and more AI is going to be taking jobs that humans did.
Absolutely.
And so all the wealth is going to be pushed up to the top.
Well, okay, that's the kind of capitalism that seems to be prevailing in America anyway. When you see the wealth gap.
Right, it's not going to work anymore because it's going to get worse. And so even Ray Dalio was talking about that a couple of days ago, and he said the U.S. needs to build a wealth fund to pay people at the bottom who can't find work.
Interesting. Yeah. It's the impact of AI. I don't think most Americans even have a clue of how much this is going to be changing a lot of the dynamics in our country and probably even around the world.
No, it is. It already is, and I use it a lot for researching things I'm interested in.
Yeah.
And you always have to take it with some skepticism because you don't know what it's picking up.
Right.
But it definitely makes a lot of things quicker. I would use it to transcribe interviews. Is the first thing I would use it for. Did it in like 2 seconds, dude.
Yeah.
You know me though. I don't like late night comedy shows anyway. I've always kind of hated them. I think Jon Stewart's kind of funny sometimes. You probably hate him. I mean, he's
I don't hate
legitimately smart and funny.
Oh,
very political.
Yeah.
But he actually stands up for things. He actually goes to Congress and advocates for things.
Right.
But it's just not my cup of tea. I can't comment on if it's good anymore.
I just think it's interesting that, people that come out of a genre, something like comedy, think themselves to be so important. You know what I mean?
No, I think most people on TV at that level think they're more important than they are.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, a guy like Johnny Carson never took himself that seriously. Letterman used to not. Letterman started to get a little sour during the Bush years. And once he kind of went in that direction, he just kind of lost the edge. I mean, his NBC years, especially his early years, to me, is still some of the greatest late night comedy. It was smart, it was funny, it was innovative. But by the last few years, he just started coming across as bitter,
Yeah.
And, I was saying earlier in the show, Seth Meyers, my goodness.
Oh, come on. I never thought he was funny.
I don't even know how he can still be on the air.
Well, he's on air, at 11 o'clock at night?
No, he comes on at 11:35, I think. But
I know there are still people, I don't want to be like this, who watch program television, but who actually cares?
Yeah.
Like, there's so many different media outlets. It's not even that important anymore.
No, it's really not.
Like, if you're worried about the bastion of free speech on television, just go to the internet.
Exactly.
And have people like Nick Fuentes spout off whatever they want.
All right. Well, we'll take a break and come back right after this.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. NVIDIA has agreed to invest $5 billion in Intel and said the two will co-develop chips for PCs and data centers. It's a surprise move to help prop up an ailing arch rival, and the news sent Intel shares soaring ahead of the opening bell. NVIDIA shares are also higher. Stock futures point to a bounce higher at the opening bell. The Fed delivered its first interest rate cut of the year and signaled that more are likely to follow soon. Chair Jay Powell pointed to growing signs of weakness in the job market to explain why officials decided it was time to cut. Powell also signaled ongoing concern over inflation pressures resulting from tariffs. It was a mixed close for Wall Street yesterday. The Dow was up 260, the S&P fell 6, the Nasdaq was down 73 points. And being on time and tipping may boost your chances that your Lyft driver will show up. Lyft is testing a feature that will tell drivers how often a rider tips and how punctual they are. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
One big, beautiful bill. A signature achievement for President Trump. The decisive vote to get it done in the U.S. Senate? Louisiana's Bill Cassidy. Cassidy stood with Trump to provide historic investments in border security. Together, they delivered critical tax relief for working families. And the Trump-Cassidy law will boost manufacturing and energy production right here in America. And when President Trump needed a partner in the U.S. Senate to pass tough new penalties on fentanyl traffickers, it was Bill Cassidy who stepped up and got it done. With Trump and Cassidy, you can count on one thing: a conservative agenda for Louisiana and America. Call Senator Cassidy at 225-929-7711. Thank him for standing with President Trump and for fighting and winning for Louisiana and America. Paid for by Louisiana Legacy Policy Solutions, Inc.
Storms, tornadoes, power outages. It's the season, so get prepared. Get storm ready with Southern Air. Get a free estimate on a generator, the right generator for your home and family, plus 0% financing for 60 months with approved credit. Let Southern Air help you take the worry out of hurricane season. Take action now. Visit southernairnow.com and let us bear it. Or give us a call at 318-777-5555. Keep the lights on with Southern Air.
Well, if you're looking for any measurable amounts of rain, you're probably going to be looking towards the middle of next week before you see it. Good morning. Our forecast is calling for sunny skies with a few afternoon clouds today. We'll put a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms, but that's going to be a hit-and-miss type of situation. 93 for the afternoon high. Sunny with afternoon highs near 93 again on Friday. From the Cenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Gratian.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO. Now back to Talkback.
All All right, we are back. Alan Stephen with you. The New York Post headline this morning, ABC. It's like they took Mark Klein's LCU later.
That's right. Look, ABC, like we said, has a right to do it. And Jimmy Kimmel, if he gets fired, if that's going to happen, he's going to have his own YouTube, TikTok special, and he's going to be just fine.
Yeah, even I remember when, oh gosh, what was his name? He was with ESPN Radio for quite a while. He did a show on ESPN as well with his dad, Poppy. It's on the tip of my tongue. I can picture him, but he and ESPN had some disagreements, so he cut out, and then he started his own podcast and did way better. Bill Simmons did the same thing.
Okay.
He had some disagreements with ESPN.
And look, that's fine. And not saying that every time someone says something controversial, it depends on what we consider to be controversial. Like all these people getting fired who are normal job people, who aren't famous comedians.
Like teachers and stuff.
I'd be curious to see what all of these statements and comments were.
Yeah.
Because if you take a job away from them, it's not always easy in this economy to go find another one.
Especially teachers.
Depends on what state, I guess. But it's really difficult to move, to find a new job. And people aren't hiring, people aren't leaving their jobs. It's hard to find one right now.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see what is considered to be over the line.
I saw a video of some kids the other day. They were looked like middle schoolers, and they went to their school board to talk about a teacher that demeaned Charlie Kirk in their class and said that we shouldn't have to put up with this. We're here to learn, not be indoctrinated.
Sure.
I was proud of those kids. You know? Absolutely, 100%. So, anyway.
You don't have to agree with the guy, what he said. It's just, I think, very distasteful and probably not smart. To criticize him in some ways. We can debate that later.
Growing up, I never even had a thought that my teachers were political in any particular way. Looking back on it.
Really?
No,
it's a different time now.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I think one of the bigger things coming out of this too is I've been getting into some of this obscure internet world that we've been hearing about, like all these different terms, 4chan, and I don't know I really don't know what I'm talking about. You see that, and then transmaxing, and what is this and that. It's a completely different world. I think it is so important, and I don't like giving unsolicited parent advice. I've been one for 2 years, but I think it's important that we get our kids off of the freaking phones. And make them go outside, make them do something else. I know it's very difficult. They need to know how to use technology to be effective workers in our world one day.
Right.
But they're just consuming this insane film and I don't want to say politically on both sides, just in general.
Just in general.
Yeah. I don't even know how political this suspect was. It might just be this weird nihilistic, they call it black pill. I don't know what it is, That's why I say it's very careful. We should let the facts come out before we make it a party thing.
And we were talking about the text messages. I saw one theory that they're saying that that he and the partner might have written that up to make that their text sequence to cover for the other people that were involved. I mean,
it could be.
Yeah, you're just seeing all these kind of wild theories out there.
And I think conspiracy theories too hurt victims and families.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And I think it's very important for us just to wait for it to come out.
Yeah.
And then I see things about the state of Utah releasing some of that information beforehand to the public. Usually it's only released to the defense. I'm not a legal expert. I'd be curious to see what the reasoning was behind that. I don't know if that's common. But it's just a lot of stuff that we all don't really know about, but we're all commenting and making opinions on.
How is he going to get a, quote, fair trial if people know so much about that already?
And can that evidence be? Exactly. Yeah. What happens with that evidence? I'd like to talk to a lawyer. Maybe we can get one on here.
Yeah.
And it depends on the state, I guess, too. There are state charges, right?
There are state, but I think there are federal as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we saw the state charges for...
Yeah.
Okay. When he was on Zoom.
Right.
That was the state of Utah.
Right.
Okay.
Right. All right. Well, let's go to another call here this morning. Good morning. You're on Talkback.
Good morning. To answer Stephen's question is, when do you cross the line when it becomes apparent to your employer that you're damaging their brand?
Yeah.
That's when it crosses the line. When you cross the line and you're damaging the brand that you work for, you've gone too far.
Mm-hmm.
And usually they just let them go and go and go and go and go. Thank goodness that some of them are standing up now and saying, hey, you know, the people who pay our bills don't like this. You're damaging our brand. And so we're going to take actions against what you perceive to be your, you know, freedom or whatever. So that's the whole thing. When it starts costing the relationship of people supporting your brand, that's when you've crossed the line. And that's true in business as we see more and more every day. So really enjoy the show.
Thanks. Yeah.
All right.
I get that. And the company has a right to do that. But I mean, most Americans have a job and most Americans have political opinions. So what would that line be crossed? Is it calling someone a Nazi? Is it calling someone a fascist? Is it saying, I'm glad this happened?
Yeah.
Or is it someone saying, I don't like anything this guy stood for. I hate that this happened to him, but I think what he said was vile. Is that over the line? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because everyone has jobs. Most people have jobs.
Right.
Does that mean you shouldn't have a political opinion?
I'm convinced more and more that when people say what he stood for, what he talked about was vile, they never really watch. I don't think
he said some things that to get a rise. You know, I don't know if it was vile, but I mean, it was definitely political. And
I've seen so many videos of people saying, I used to hate Charlie Kirk, and then I started to watch him, and then I'm like, they've come completely the other way.
I mean, I respect anyone who goes out, defends his opinions, defends his beliefs.
A persuasive arguer.
Yeah, I mean, that's fun. You know, like I said, you could read all his stuff and see if you liked it all, but you know, you have to figure it out for yourself if you think it's worth it to put yourself out on the limb.
The fallacy in logical reasoning I hate more than any other is ad hominem attacks.
Yeah. Well, politics.
Yeah. So I can't defeat your argument, so I have to destroy your character and reputation.
Well, maybe you should tell Congress that too.
Yeah, they'd really listen to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Only if I was like a billionaire.
That's why I think, you know, education outside of just getting a job is very important. Critical thinking, learning how to argue, learning not to fall for fallacies, because I think a problem with a lot of the American public is they're falling for these horrible, weak arguments. You know? Everything's black and white.
Yeah.
It's a very complex issue.
I mean, I think a good course for people to take would be just logic and reasoning and spotting fallacies. I teach a little bit of that in my modern comm class, but it's only like one day that we kind of go through those. But they're, you know, you have all kinds of things, the slippery slope, the bandwagon effect, you know, if everyone else is doing it. So
there's so many of them.
Oh yeah, I think there are over 100 that they've identified.
Yeah. Or saying if one person does one thing, then you have to lump the whole group into it.
The red herring.
That's a bad one.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Okay.
The red herring is interesting, like where it even came from. Do you know where the origin?
No, I don't know what that means.
So back
I don't know what it means. I don't know where.
Back when they used to do fox hunting in England, to train the dogs, they would have one trail that had the scent of the fox, and the other one they would put like a dead fish, like a red herring.
Oh, okay.
And if the dog ran after the fish, then he failed the test, and I don't know what they did with the dog, but he wasn't part of the hunting group.
Dang it, he got retired, I guess. Yeah. There's this YouTube page or like a TikTok page, and all he does is go back and tell you why all these sayings mean what they mean.
Oh, that's cool.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Like etymology?
Yeah.
Looking at words?
Exactly. Or just phrases, more or less. Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, we need to take another break. We'll come back with more calls.
KSYL. This is Dr. Jonathan Hunter with the clinics. We provide primary, family, and chronic care along with gastroenterology, podiatry with on-site lab and x-ray services. I'm pleased to welcome family physician Dr. Noah Miller to our team. We are currently accepting new patients and same-day appointments are available. If you're admitted into the hospital, our doctors will see you there as well. Most insurance and Medicare are accepted. The clinic's on North Dalton. 445-9823 and online at theclinics.us.
Deer season is fast approaching, and Verzweifelt Farm in Boise has just what you need. Stock up on high-quality, locally grown deer corn to attract those trophy bucks. This corn is triple clean, and they sell it in 50-pound bags or by the pallet. They'll load it, too, by appointment only. So give Trevor a call at 318-715-1322 or visit Verzweifelt Farms online. Remember, get your corn at the farm. That's Verzweifelt Farm on Hot Wells Road in Boise. 318-715-1322.
Do you want to take a vacation every day? Do you want to know where your children are all summer long? Then call A1 Pools now and have a swimming pool installed in your own backyard. A1 Pools can build your pool and have you swimming with your family before you know it. Call A1 Pools now and get a free quote. Call 318-449-2093. And financing is available. Call A1 Pools now. 318-449-2093.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO. Now back to Talkback.
All right, we're back here on Talkback. Alan Stephen with you. We've been talking a lot about, late night comedians and such. Here's a clip I've seen from Johnny Carson that's been going around for a while. I think this was an interview he did on 60 Minutes. Listen to what he had to say.
Oh, tell me the last time that Jack Benny, Red Skelton, Benny comedian, used his show to do serious issues. That's not what I'm there for. Can't they see that? Yeah, but you're not. Why do they think that just because you have a Tonight Show that you must deal in serious issues? There's a danger. It's a real danger. Once you start that, you start to get that self-important feeling that what you say has great import. And strangely enough, you could use that show as a forum. You could sway people, and I don't think you should as an entertainer.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. Well, like I said, because I remember when Reagan was president, he would do some skits where he dressed up like Reagan, and he made fun of Reagan all the time, but it wasn't mean-spirited. You know what I mean? It was just, like I said, the word lampoon. SNL used to be that way. Dana Carvey's George Herbert Walker Bush was hilarious. Not gonna do it, would not be president. It was great stuff, but somewhere along the line, a lot of this just started to become so much more mean-spirited and hateful. And I think as a result, it got less funny. Look at SNL now. Who watches that show?
I don't watch any of that stuff. No way. Not because I'm anti it.
Yeah.
It's just not my cup of tea.
Maybe if they have a particular host on, like when Shane Gillis was on, he's pretty fun. Is that his name? Comedian?
Yeah, Shane Gillis. Yeah.
Pretty funny. And he does a funny Trump, too.
The big white guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Trump basketball shoes that he finds.
Oh, yeah.
Turns him into he doesn't really become great. He just talks like he's great.
Let's be honest, though, and I think it's a reaction, too, and it's not blaming him. It's just the nature of where we're at now. Trump just has been bullying people on Twitter forever. That's the way he talks. That's the way he acts.
Yeah.
So we're kind of seeing it trickle down in the rest of society, too. Yeah. I'm saying it's right, but that's where we're at, I think, in politics and the way we talk with each other.
Yeah.
Like the idea of Nancy Mace, the way she talks to people in Congress, that's insane.
Yeah.
Politics aside.
I don't know if you saw yesterday, they were trying to pass a motion in Congress to censure, I think, Ilhan Omar for her comments about Charlie Kirk, and it would have removed her from all of her committee assignments.
Yeah, I saw that.
And it failed 214 to 213. So that must mean that there were Republicans that voted to not do that.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of Republicans who are very skeptical about going down the cancel culture road, regardless of what it is.
Because they know it can come back.
Yeah. We should all be defenders of liberty. I don't care about your party, and I don't care about their party. Be a defender of liberty.
We were talking about Nick Freitas earlier in the show. One thing he did have, I think this was kind of an insightful comment a while back. He was talking about the claim, and he called it an absurd claim, that any opposition to things like drag queens for kids or trans surgeries for minors constitutes, quote, transgenocide. He said, it's not just hyperbolic, it's an attempt to lay the groundwork for justifying violence against anyone who disagrees with whatever is demanded next. And he said, remember when the left kept claiming that speech was violence, that essentially anything they didn't want to hear was an act of violence. That wasn't to shut you up. It was to lay the moral framework where they could use actual violence and call it self-defense.
Yeah. And we got that term, snowflake.
Yeah.
And everyone's, look, I think we got a little bit too sensitive back in the day. And I don't think you should be vitriolic and insensitive on purpose all the time, but you have a right to do that. And we want comedy to come back. Elon says, bring back comedy. Oh, remember he did that at CPAC a couple months ago? But then we're just seeing them do it again to somebody else. That's what I don't like. We're seeing the same thing the other way. Like, have standards. But this was ABC's decision.
Yeah.
I'm more or less criticizing ABC and all the corporations who just don't really care about what the politics are. They just care about where the power and the money is.
I'm going to say this. If Jimmy Kimmel's show was making money hand over fist, he'd still be on the air.
Yeah, that's a good point.
He'd still be on the air.
That's a very good point.
All right, let's take a call. Good morning. You're on Talkback.
Yeah, it just seems in general to me that people just can't, on both sides, they can't tolerate different opinions. And I saw it a lot during the COVID, I never one time asked anybody if they took the COVID vaccine.
Right.
But I had people ask me, and I would tell them no. And then they start this big argument with me, trying to talk me into it, and wanting to know why. Well, first of all, I was a nurse 35 years. You learn not to trust anything new. You learn not to trust new medications. I also knew Pfizer's history. Pfizer is a totally corrupt pharmaceutical company. They are corrupt. They have put drugs on the market that kill people, and they knew they were going to kill people, and they hid that information from the FDA back when the FDA was dishonest, and they got fined a huge amount of money. They didn't care because they made a lot of money before it got pulled. Also, Dr. Robert Malone, who was highly involved with mRNA technology, he was against the mandates. He said only certain classes of people take it because we don't know the long-term side effects.
Yeah.
That swayed me. They just get furious because they couldn't talk me into supporting the vaccine. And I would tell them, look, I'm not trying to talk you into taking the vaccine or not take it. It's your choice, but I'm not taking it. Then another fallacy they would come up with, vaccines are safe. They eradicated smallpox vaccine. Well, smallpox virus is a whole different virus. It's a DNA virus. DNA viruses don't mutate. RNA respiratory viruses do mutate readily. There was another doctor in Belgium virologist that I've followed, and he was very much against the vaccination during the pandemic. He said, what's going to happen is going to accelerate the rate of mutation. Do you remember when he was right? Every week there was a new mutation.
Yep.
But people just got furious that they couldn't convince me that I should take it. And I never started those conversations. It was, to me, it was your choice. If you want to take it, take it. But I never asked anybody, but then they'd get furious.
Yeah.
And then I have some broken relationships over that to this day.
I hear you.
My friend's wife, we got really heated, but she started it. I told her, I said, you don't have to convince me why you're taking it. You want to take it, take it. Well, she stayed mad for a while, and then she got over it. Well, then they got COVID twice, and then she was really mad.
All right.
People just can't tolerate anybody disagreeing with them. It just seems like to me, people are just getting. I don't know what the problem is.
I think a lot of people can. They're just not the ones talking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes. I agree. All right. Well, thank you so much for the call. We need to take another break.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics.
All of us have that one friend who can just light up the room with a smile. And sadly, how many of us are just a little bit envious of that friend? Well, here's the good news. The folks over at Today's Dental in Pineville can deliver that beautiful beaming smile. Over the years, hundreds of hopeful patients have visited and been completely satisfied. They've made getting dental implants an amazingly simple, low-anxiety procedure, one that's affordable for anyone's budget. The staff at Today's Dental go out of their way to make you feel comfortable with calming in-office IV sedation that's administered by a highly skilled, certified nurse anesthetist. And their multiple finance options make the entire procedure truly affordable. Isn't it your turn to light up that room? Give Today's Dental a call at 448-4540. It's a general dental facility on Highway 28 East in Pineville, owned by Dr. Jonas Gauthier. That's 448-4540.
Get ready, Alexandria. With the class of the Young Temptations, the moves of the Jackson 5, and the energy of Bruno Mars, everybody's going uptown. You will not want to miss this. Live at the Coughlin Saunders Performing Arts Center on Tuesday, September 23rd, it's a show that'll have you dancing in your seat and singing all night long. Tickets are on sale now at louisiana-arts.org or call 318-484-4474 for more information.
It's Talkback, 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
All right, let's go back to the phones. Good morning, you're on Talkback.
Yeah, you guys were talking about people, I guess, getting fired, podcast type media people.
Mm-hmm.
I never listened to Jimmy Kimmel, so I don't know what he did or did not do.
Mm-hmm.
But on your particular Talkback show, I listened for many years to Bob Madison, and all of a sudden he was gone. No explanation, no nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that sort of thing occurs, I guess, all the time. You get the station management irritated with you, and you're gone.
I don't even know. Do you know the circumstance? I don't want to go into that. I think in the broadcast world, for the most part, if you say you're done, they kind of cut ties with you pretty fast. That's generally how it goes.
Yeah.
Regardless of the circumstances.
Yeah, well, in some cases, there's a polite goodbye, but you're just gone.
Yeah.
I mean, private industry can fire people if they want to, unless there's a contract.
Yes.
No, they can. Most contracts, they can still fire you. It's mostly to protect them.
Yeah, moral turpitude or whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody should technically be totally safe. It's a shame when people sometimes get terminated for no legitimate reason, but I guess that's what the courts are for.
Yeah. And then it gets into, normal people versus a big company or corporation, paying for those lawyer fees, going through that trouble. It can sometimes be more complex than finding another job. Not for Kimmel, but for others.
Well, the way I kind of look at it is if you lose a position and you're unhappy about it, you need to try to look forward and see which door is going to open next.
True.
Because, Al found a nice new open door.
I did. Yeah, otherwise I wouldn't be here. Having a blast with everybody.
That's right.
Calling in.
Wait, you were let go?
Well, have a good day.
Thanks. Oh, you heard about that?
And that's a whole other thing, too. And I'm sure Al's contractually obligated not to say anything. I might be, too, for like 9 more months. So I'll just keep it at that.
Yeah.
Well, that really upset me, too. But it's just, like I said, we've seen this complete extreme swing of the pendulum on the narrative, just because that's where they think the money and power is.
All right.
Let's fix our communities. Let's live our little lives here and try and make it better. Because if you live on Twitter all day or X, Facebook, and these other ones, you're just going to become so jaded, like me and Al.
Yes, I'm definitely jaded.
You know what me and Al do all the time is Just send each other X's. Is that what do they call them?
Yeah.
They call them excretions.
Links to X posts. Yeah. I got you back into X. You weren't even on it for a while.
No, I didn't. I forgot about it. I got really mad at Twitter because I built up a Dallas Cowboys fan following.
I remember that.
And my Twitter just went away.
Wow.
It just vanished, and so I got ticked off and quit.
Huh.
And most of the news following I have is Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Facebook's kind of boring compared to X.
Oh, definitely. No doubt about it.
TikTok and X are the most fun.
Yeah. Yeah. They'll have different uses and purposes, but
I hate Instagram.
Yeah. Look at me.
Exactly.
You've been listening to Talkback. The opinions expressed were those of the hosts and callers, and not necessarily those of Cenlaw Broadcasting.